All right, I almost forgot to hit the record. So somebody wanted me to record it so they can see it later. But anyway, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to show everybody starting from Moses and Margaret, or like I said, the census record says Moses and Margaret, Moses and Maggie. But this document shows January 24th, 1866, when Moses and Margaret was freed from their slave owner, D.R. Postel. And this is in the records of the state of South Carolina, and they had it in the Freedmen's Abandoned Lands records. So you can actually go back through and find this. The source document is on here. So I wanted everybody to be able to see that since I talked about it during the family reunion. And as I said, this was supposed to be a document where everybody has it. So now you guys can see what's what. Demetrius, go ahead. You can ask your question.
Well, good evening,
Good
family.
evening.
Uh, I wanted to thank you for actually doing or putting this on. I think this is very good, so we can continue to pass down our oral history, and now we got real history. I wanted to say something about the contract that you were talking about. So I believe the family at that time probably knew that they were free, but they were now actually couldn't the slave owners could not make them work for free. So they actually had legal contracts that they actually made with their former slave owners. So they
Yeah.
were so they were free. They I think in South Carolina, um, it was probably like in the March April time frame that um, the slaves understood what was going on in terms of the Civil War and them actually being emancipated. But this was great in the fact that now, no, if you want me to do any work for you, we actually have to have a legal contract.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer your slave, like you
Yep.
said. Yeah. But now, if you want me to work for you, I have to have a contract.
All right. Well,
And
thank you. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good context. Like I said, we don't know because we don't have any oral history from them, but at least now we have the document showing it. But if anybody wants a copy of this or you want to save it, I can send it to you for your records. I mean, the biggest thing for this whole thing is for our kids, right? We have family now that's spread out everywhere. So now at least our kids can kind of start seeing, definitely we came from slaves. And the intent of the Sunday sessions is to get people to know who our family is. So that's the whole purpose of this session. So I'm going to click out of this because I'm sharing my screen. Let me make sure I can do that. And then we're going to move on to another part of this. Let me see if I can get out of. Let me go back. All right. So I'm going to show you guys going back to the tree again, the family tree. So here's Moses, here's Margaret. Now, in this family tree, I put D.R. Postel. Obviously, D.R. Postel is not Moses and Margaret's parents, but I had to find a way to try to figure out how to link them together. Obviously, I probably need to just take this off altogether and then just leave it in the family record someplace. But I put it here so we could have record to show that um, we have some type of um relationship, not really family relationship, but history relationship to Mr. Postel. I probably should move it from like that, but I did it like that on purpose. Now, okay, so I show Moses and Maggie or Moses and Margaret, and then now here we get down as we go further. These are the children of Moses and Margaret, at least the ones that I've been able to find. So I have Harry Geddis, Primus Geddis, March Geddis, Moses Geddis Jr., Tyra Geddis, Goodwine, Richard Geddis, and then we have a Abraham or Abram over here, but nobody, at least I haven't found, cousin Priscilla hasn't found, nobody that I know of has found that he has any family. So, and then I think at one time we had a March, not a March, we had somebody else on here, and I think we've kind of we took that off, but It might be Abraham is who we took off. I have to ask cousin Priscilla. I don't know if she's on here. But anyway, so these are the children, at least per the census data that we have. Anybody have any questions? Nope. All right. All
Leon,
right. Yes, ma'am. You cut off again. You put yourself back on mute. Okay, there you go.
oh, I heard Daddy talking about uncle. No, maybe that may have been his brother. Remember the one that uh carried on so, but I wouldn't say carried on, but took it so hard doing the death. But I think that was his brother, not his uncle. Okay, forgive me.
That's okay. That's all right.
And that he fell and he had a plate in his head, Daddy said, and he fell and the plate in his head broke and he was no good after that. But I really think that may have been Daddy and those brother rather than their uncle.
Okay, maybe. So I'm
And it
gonna go
starts with an
down.
A.
Okay, I'm gonna go through that. I'm gonna go through my line right now, which is your line too, cousin Liz. And then, like I said, as we do these, I want to go down all the lines eventually so people can kind of see where they fit in the tree. So the purpose is we get more people to participate, we can kind of see. So let's see if
Liana, before you do that real quick, I just have one
yes.
quick question. And this
Uh-huh.
is for you or anyone else that may know. Do we know where the surname Geddis came from? Because I was always taught that slaves took on the last name of their masters. So Postel and
Uh,
Geddis, like,
we obviously know that's not true because we have records showing that they didn't take his last name.
Yeah, and
So,
Daddy, I remember what Daddy told me on that now.
okay, what's
Daddy
that?
said the slave master that had them was so mean. So when they got their freedom, they did not take his name on. They took on Geddis from someone who was nicer. I remember him saying that.
oh, okay.
Okay, now what I saw from like the area history was that there was a governor, John Geddis, Geddes, and that governor had slaves also, and they lived in West Ashley in the like Maryville area. So they would have went across the Ashley River, and probably came back through the woods, or they sold the slaves or something like that. But that's what I saw. I don't know, even from the information from your father, from his early research, nobody has ever said, or at least been able to confirm how we got Geddis. But obviously, they have been using it since then, since Moses and Margaret, because they wrote it in the contract.
Yeah, well, I believe what my daddy said, that they did not take on. Now, he did not tell me where the Gettys came from. The only thing he said that the slave master that had them was very mean. So they didn't carry the name, but there was another master that was nice, but he didn't, elaborate anymore. But I remember that.
Demetrius, go ahead.
Yeah, but so I'm not sure how mean the slave owners were, but I think it's good to note that Daniel Postel came from William Postel, and William did not have any male sons, but he actually ended up having Daniel from his slave Wentz, and so Daniel was actually half black. And so they actually had a unique relationship. I don't know if it was meanness or respect or, sort of being on at the same level. And so at that time, when it was time for them to choose it, they probably didn't want to just follow that name. I also heard, like Leona said, at that time, one of the popular governors was a Gettys. I also found some record where there was a John Henry Geddis that they actually did business with. William Postel did business with as well too. So there was Gettys or Geddises in the area, but like you said, they were not our slave owners. and we had a unique relationship with our slave owners in the fact that, they actually, in the last days, they only had a few slaves. And they were actually half Black. And so, our ancestors during those final years, I'm not sure how rough it was with their slave owners. And when they came out of slavery, Moses and Richard, they actually knew how to read and write. So it was a very interesting relationship. And they actually chose, like you said, not to go with pastel and to go with another name.
Yeah, and you just brought up a good point for those of you who haven't heard that part before either. Dr. Postel, the slave owner, he was actually half Black. So yes, he was a so yes, Dr. Postel was our slave owner, but when we looked, and I think Demetrius found a lot of this too. When we looked at the family, the Postel family history, that Daniel Postel and William Postel, Daniel was born from William, but William's the wife, I mean this Mary Postel was not Daniel Postel's mother. Daniel Postel's mother was a slave owner. I mean, was a slave. So she was a slave. So yes, Daniel owned us, but his mother was also a slave at one time. So I don't know if you guys have heard that story before, or heard that before, but she was actually Daniel was actually half Black. So William was white, and they came from, I think, the Huguenots or something like that. And then he had a whole family. But as Demetrius just said, if you see, they didn't have any, there was no male sons for William Postel besides Daniel. And Daniel came from a slave woman. So uh yes, he owned Moses, and actually it said Margaret is who he actually owned. And so we still don't really know a lot about um, where or which actual plantation, the Beach Hill and Perry plantations were some of the other plantations in that area. So Moses could have came from that one, but we know for a fact that at least when they got free, Moses and Margaret were working for Daniel Postel.
And I think that's probably why they were able to have a he was able to make those contracts with them as well too, in terms of they actually had a different kind of relationship. And Daniel didn't have a lot of money, so William only gave Daniel and his mom like a few slaves because he wanted to pass on some of his legacy to his son that he had from her. And so they didn't have a lot of slaves. And after slavery, they weren't that rich. And so they still needed to work with their former slaves.
Yeah, well, and then he gave them land too.
Right.
So
So they had
so
a different kind of relationship. Yeah.
exactly. So not sure yet, Tanya, where the last name, besides the different things that we've kind of read in the books and um read in the area history. So we still don't know 100% where the Geddis name came from, but we have uh we have some ideas of where the Geddis name came from, but not sure there. So I'm gonna move down in this a little bit. I saw Cousin Priscilla just came on. Cousin Priscilla, I still didn't get your last email, but from the census records that I had for Moses and Margaret, these were the children that I had from the census record. So Moses and Margaret had Harry, Primus, March, Moses Jr., Tyra, Richard, and then Abraham. And what we were just talking about just now was that for those of you who haven't heard before, uh, the slave owner, Daniel Postel, and I need to fix this on this tree because he obviously wasn't Moses and Margaret's parents. So, but I need to fix it. But that was the only way I could figure out how to let people know that we came from them. But Daniel was half black. His mother was a slave. The father was white, the white slave owner. So these were the children that I had for Moses and Margaret. Now, what I want to do is eventually I want to get down each one of these lines, but I won't be able to do that tonight. But what I want to show you guys, so Richard Geddis, I got anybody online from Richard Geddis? I know me to you. Who else is online from Richard Geddis, if you know?
So I guess I'm not the only one, right?
I don't know. So, well, you're the only one that's speaking up. So, I got anybody on from Tyra, Geddis, Good Wine? Any of the Good Wines on? I did invite them. I invited a couple people from the Good Wines. Anybody on? I can't see because I'm sharing my screen. Okay, well, the majority people that's on is probably from the second Mose Geddis, and Laura. And this is the line I'm going to go down a little bit today, just because I want to show a little bit more, and then we'll go into some of the other ones. And then the March Geddis and Nellie Bryant, Primus Geddis and Louisa Geddis. This is Reverend Roosevelt, his line, and then Harry Geddis from there. So these are the lines that I have right now. And like I said, I do need to clean up some of this, but I wanted to kind of show everybody the lines. And this is just going back to the Word document that I talked about during the family reunion. So people can start to see where they fit in this line. Somebody was about to say something. Go ahead. Oh, okay. All right. So now when I click the line for Mose Geddis Jr. and Laura, now this is probably the bulk of the people that's online. So this is my line. So you got Mose Geddis Jr. and Laura. And this is the majority of our lines that's online, the majority of the people that's on here.
I said, I think that's our line, Moses Jr.,
Who's that talking?
Maria,
No,
Christian.
no, ma'am.
Yeah.
You on this March and Nellie Bryant.
I think we under the Moses Jr.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you though where you at. I'll show
No,
you.
you're on
Okay.
March. You're on March. I know why you're saying that.
Because it's another Mose.
Yeah,
Is
there are
Oh,
another
two
okay. Yeah, it's a
Moses.
lot.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's several. So they use that Mose name a lot. But
And I
you're
see that.
yeah, let me show you where you guys. You under
I
so
think
when you
it's,
see Mose Geddis and Nellie Bryant,
yeah, that's what it is.
your line, this is your line right here. So you fall under this Mose, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this your line right here. Mose Geddis and Nether Perry.
Yep, that's it.
This your line right here.
Wait a minute. Why I keep blocking out? I can't. Okay, go ahead.
You see it? It's a
Well,
lot. This is a lot. This one is a lot. But this your mama right here.
okay, I got you.
Yeah, this your line.
Okay.
And
May
what
I
I need,
interrupt for a moment? Did everybody else get the thing that I sent today with the family trees?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why you didn't get it, Leona. Okay.
I
So,
don't know my email, so I'll go back through and see, or I'll give you a different email to send it to, but it didn't come.
okay.
Yeah.
Because it's
Or it
already
might be
broken up the way that Leon is talking about it. I sent it broken up
Oh, I
as well
see
as
it.
whole.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
okay. So, but what I need though from you guys though is like I need the rest of your kids and grandkids. So like you, Maria Gaddis,
Mm-hmm.
right here. So I got your Shaniqua and Jabriah, but I know your daughter Shaniqua has a child.
Daughter. Yeah, I have to put
So
her
I
in
need
there.
you to give me her information.
Okay.
Jareem, I got you on here. And then I got your kids. So I got you, I got your kids on here. And then your sister, I got her kids on here.
Okay. We just gotta add Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Oh, you
Yeah.
missing one more
Okay,
for Janice. Janice
you
has
have mine.
three boys now.
Oh,
You
okay.
miss she missing Bryson. She got Austin and Jakai, but she missing Bryson.
Okay. So that's yeah, so that's the information I need. So text it to me or put it in send it to me in Messenger so I can add your other child.
Okay. I definitely will.
So yeah, so we just went through that's an important part, right? So there's so many different Moses in our family
I see.
line
Goodness.
that sometimes it is hard to determine which
Where you fall.
moves that you fall under. But
Mhm.
your Moses and Nether Perry. Now, I don't know, do you guys have anybody have any pictures of your grandparents or your mama or anybody have?
Nita, yeah, we do. I'm gonna find one and I'll give it to you to put in there. I think
Yeah,
I
so because what I've been
It was
doing
one in a church inside the history room, Maria, of
oh,
grandma.
okay.
of
Yeah.
Nether Perry.
Anita Perry,
Nita
uh-huh.
Perry.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
that's
in
what
there.
neither. Okay, so I might have it in my email in my pictures then, and I don't know it because I went in that history room and I took pictures of all of those people in the walls, but I didn't know who all of them were.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's there. Grandma is there, but my grandfather's not there, but my
Oh,
grandma's there.
hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can add her picture. So what I've been doing, like you guys can kind of see, if I have a picture of your family or your parents or somebody, I've
Hmm.
been trying to add them on the tree.
Okay.
So if you guys have pictures that you want me to add, like I got Harold them, but I just didn't put their pictures on here.
Hmm.
So, if you guys have pictures that you want me to add, let me know, and then I can add it on here. And if you see that there's people on here that's missing, let me know because I probably need to add them also.
Okay, I definitely will. I see a couple of missing, but yeah, I'll give it to you. Okay.
Anybody else want me to kind of go through show your line before I get moving back down the other one? Anybody want me to show?
Demetrius is Richard. Who's Richard Geddis?
So I'll show you. Let's go,
Let me see that one.
Richard.
That's
So,
Henrietta's grandfather.
Father. Okay, okay. I
so
just didn't
there
hear that
this.
name a lot.
Well, and that's another thing. John Henry, for some reason, there's a lot of John Henrys too.
It is.
Yeah. My dad was
But
supposed to be the third.
Okay.
let me make sure I got this right though. So tell me, Mich. Sorry, I can't. I keep want to call you Michi because
Demetrius.
You can call me me. You can call
that's
me
what I know
Michi.
you by. I'm
That's
That's
sorry,
what we
family.
know him by.
Demetrius.
Michi. I'ma
That
still call her Michi.
that's
Yeah,
fine. That's fine with me.
about to say that's what I know you by. All right, let me make sure I got you
So yeah.
guys.
So yeah,
So John Henry and Katie, right?
John, Henry, and Katie. Yes.
Yes,
Now,
that's
Okay.
right. I see now.
So
Okay.
then hold on. Let me see. Where is she? Oh, Rebecca. Is
and
she?
my tree is a little bit different. Yeah, I got
I know.
another oral history on there
Yeah, I
in
got
terms
you.
of.
Yep, I
So,
got it. So, but I got you. So
yeah.
if you see, so okay, so let's go back up to the top. So Moses, the first Moses and Margaret, and then we went to Richard, and then for Demetrius, so Henry's family, I went to John Henry Geddis and Katie White, and then when I went in that line, I went over to Adam Goodwine and Rebecca Geddis, and then I went down, and in here, so Rebecca, she had George Quilly, Herman, we know as Boy, and then John Henry. Now, I don't know if all of this is correct, but this is
Um,
what I had.
it's good. No, it's good. Rebecca named my granddad after her dad. So it was John Henry, the son of Richard, and then John Henry had Rebecca, and Rebecca had John Henry, my granddad, and then my dad is
Okay.
John Henry Jr. So he should have been a third, but
So,
that's
but yeah, but I had him on
yeah.
this as senior, I think, because of the way they had it um,
That's how they have it. Yeah.
in the records. And then when I go under John Henry, now, this one I don't have. I know I don't have all your cousins, your first cousins. So I got John Henry and Eunice, Miss Tiny, and then see, I had this your dad. This is your dad,
Yeah, there you go.
John Henry. And so I got you. I don't have none of your siblings' children's.
Okay. I can get you that information.
So I need that. So then I had Langston and Melissa, and then Wanda, where does she go? Verlinda, Tika, Monica. I'm moving over. Tyrone, Stevie, Rosemary, and then I had some other Charles. This is Peaky, Reginald, as far as I know, and I'm not sure about Gerald.
Gerald died in the house fire, so he was actually a baby when he died. So that's what
Okay,
he happened.
so I don't have. That's why I don't have that updated.
Yes.
But
He,
so that's an example, you guys, of going down to find out exactly where you are in the line, in the tree.
Awesome.
So, and then, um, so, Maria, so you can kind of see. So now you see how John Henry and Katie,
right, I remember now.
not
You brought it back. That's all when you did that.
okay.
Okay.
But so that John Henry, he also, when you go back, let's close this one. Now you got Missouri in there.
Missouri is where? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Missouri, like Clevy's
I
father,
know.
Missouri.
Right. I remember. Okay.
So that's the same father, father
Hmm.
of John Henry, and then that's Richard. That goes back to that Richard line
I
again.
gotcha. I gotcha.
So Missouri and Blanche. I had a Vandross in there. Uh,
Rebecca. I see
And
Rebecca.
and Ernestine Yanni is there.
Where's she at? I don't see
Yeah.
it.
1906 there. So
Oh, right. I see
Ernestine.
it. Okay. Yeah,
yep, right here.
I see it.
And then we had a Bertha Geddis Morris.
Yeah.
I know
That's
who
our
that is.
that's our
That's where
connection.
Mr. J.D. Glover comes in.
Yeah, that's our
Uh-huh. That's
connection.
so true. Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody, we know Mr. JD, but that's where he comes in. That's what I was telling people. We could bring the
Yes.
whole Gettysville Clubhouse together.
Whole
It's
clubhouse.
a lot. Yeah, it's deep.
Yep.
So Leona, let me get this straight because I'm actually on my phone looking at this on my phone, and it's a lot.
Yes, it
So
is.
so this Richard, which is Demetrius's and Cretia and
Mhm.
Jareem's line, right?
No, Ro Richard is Demetrius and like Clevie Geddis, um, Quilly. So, what's her name? Andrea.
Andrea.
That's their
Okay.
line.
So Richard, who was Richard to my grandfather and your grandfather?
They will be
Brother.
cause they will be
Brother.
Cousins.
So
cousins.
okay,
Mhm.
Moses is our line, right?
Yeah, so that was his older brother
That
or
was the brother to
yeah,
Moses.
So
So
Moses
that would
and Richard were brothers.
My
correct.
Moses Jr. must be.
no, not
Correct.
your Moses, Creature, not your
I'm talking
Moses.
about the
Cretia,
second
Cretia,
generation.
Cretia,
Yeah.
Cretia. I will explain. I know exactly why you're
It's
saying that, but I will
confusing.
explain that to you. It's not
Okay.
Moses Jr. I will explain that to you.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
But it's not
so
that Moses.
exactly. So your Creature, your Moses, let me go back.
See
I
how
know Tanya's.
confusing it is? It's too much.
I know that's why I told
Your
you that's what
Moses come from Mars, Maria.
we're
I
gonna do
know.
this.
I remember
We're
that
gonna
part
do
too.
this we're gonna do it a couple of times. So when we go back, let me close up some of these lines so we can go back
And
and
I
kind
kept
of
hearing about Nelly. So who's the Nelly?
okay.
Bryant.
Okay, so is our grandfather March Geddes and Richard brothers, or their
Hold
cousins?
on.
Yes,
Hold on.
yes,
Yes, we just
yes,
got it.
Yeah,
yes.
they
Yes.
cousins, but it's a lot of
Oh, they
confusion.
brothers. Okay, gotcha.
But
Yeah.
oh
So
my
let's
Okay,
go
gosh.
back to the
thank you.
top. So
I got it. She don't get it.
But
here we
I
go.
still need to get it.
I
I'm
still
gonna
need
do
to
it for
get it. So
Tanya.
y'all
I'm
Uh,
gonna
gotta
do it for
help me because
Tanya.
I
Cretia,
don't.
Okay, so
It's
It's a
I'm
our
gonna do it
bunch of
for
great
y'all
Tanya.
talking
granddaddy.
right now.
Okay, our great granddaddy and Demetrius, great
We,
granddaddy are brothers.
I know that much, right?
Great,
Okay.
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Yep, and that would be my and that would be my great my great grandfather too.
Okay.
Okay. They all
So
brothers.
I know we
Okay.
kind of, yeah, I knew, okay, I'm getting it. All right.
Okay, so the first Moses and Margaret, so the eldest ones. So then here you guys, here you go, your great grandparents.
Okay.
March, Keisha, that's yours.
I know.
Mine would be this Moses and Laura.
I
And
got
then
you.
Richard will be Demetrius, Quilly, Cleveland,
I got that.
all of
Okay.
them.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then so that's how we related to the good wines. The Frederick, was it Frederick?
Yes.
Good wine.
Well,
That's how we got
Well,
related.
we're good.
Yeah.
We're related to the good ones by our grandmother
well,
So,
hold
well,
on.
as
no,
well.
Wait
deeper,
now.
go deeper, go
Hold on.
deeper.
It's much deeper than that.
Oh,
Creature, you
So
should
oh,
have
I
come
don't
to the
even want to
very
do
beginning.
it. But I know my grandmother was related to
yes,
Danica
yeah,
Perry.
yeah. So
Yeah.
hold on. So that's where it gets deeper. But I wanted to also say, so everybody knows cousin Roosevelt when we talk about cousin Roosevelt, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Well, this is his great grandfather right here, Primus.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So these were all brothers.
Just, yeah.
So
I got it.
Primus, March, Moses, Richard, and then the only girl in there was Tyra Geddis, who also married a good wine.
The
Okay.
first, yeah, yeah.
I
So,
remember that. Okay.
And then we had a Harry in there also. So
yeah,
that whole line, these were our like great grandparents. So it just kind of depends on where you at in the line.
Mm-hmm.
But these were like either the great grandparents or great grandparents, depends on where you are in the line of all of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so
Did I
these,
miss something, cousin
so,
Priscilla?
Cousin Priscilla can tell me some more.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm traveling, so I'm
Oh,
going
that's
in and
okay. That's
out.
okay.
So
I
I'm
want to
going.
just
And what
make
was your question again?
I wanted to just make sure I was telling them. So like cousin Roosevelt, Primus, these are all the like the we are either the great grandchildren or third great grandchildren to these lines, even though they would be
Right.
like, yeah.
When you look at that sheet that I sent you guys today, where I've gotten them broken down, I took the top of the line, Moses and Margaret's children, and sent out a breakdown, a family tree based on
Right.
the their children, and you'll see it's set up by generations. You'll see what generation you fall in when you
Right.
get that tree. So
Right.
that when you go back, that'll tell you how many great greats it is that you are to that person on that tree. Then you'll go back one to Moses and Margaret to let you know. So if you look at the Moses and Margaret tree, it will tell you what generation you fall in. But if you look at your grandfathers, like March, our grandfather, Krisha and Jareem, then if you look at his tree, then it'll count from him down to where you are. But with the full tree, the Moses tree will count down from Moses and Margaret to where you are. But it's the actual tree is broken into generations, so you clearly see what generation you fall in.
Okay. Right. I see it. So our
I
bottom
want to
line
show you.
is we all basically related because our great grandfathers, our grandmothers were actually brothers and sisters, basically.
Yes.
Basically.
Okay.
In so many
absolutely,
words, yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
And what's
That
so
makes
cool
sense.
is, I mean, well, I'll say cool, but all of them, you're seeing the kids that actually saw slavery come to an end. So when you think about Richard and Tyra and Moses Jr., they actually were born into slavery and then they came out of slavery and became landowners. So,
Right.
Yep.
and the fact that they became landowners allowed us to actually have this connection where we could see
That's
how
Yep.
everything grew. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
It
So
really is.
Tanya, did we answer your question partially?
Yes, you did.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you a couple just because I got you guys. So let me let you guys because since I got Nellie Bryant, I got her death certificate on her thing. Let me show you what it says. So that's why I was telling you about the Beach Hill plantation. So let me just show you this real quick. Because so Keisha, this would be y'all's.
Yes. 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 I heard about
So Miss Nellie Geddis, her mother was Hannah Bryant. So that's how we know she definitely was a Bryant.
her.
She's buried at Sand Hill Church somewhere. She died from heart failure in July of 1926.
Mm.
And they didn't put the father's name and anything else. And she died young. Well, 66.
Yeah, that was
66 years.
mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
she was married to a Geddis?
Nellie was
Yes.
married to our great grandfather Moses. I mean, I'm sorry, March. And
Okay.
going back to what Leona just said, if you look at the death certificates, heart problem was pretty prevalent in our family. When you
Yep.
go through the death certificates.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yep.
Thank you for that info.
Yep. So I'm gonna go to my line because I want to show you guys something that's pretty interesting also for the second Mose. So Moses and Margaret, their son Mose, I want to show you something for his. And if we didn't think we was a slave, this gonna show it to let me see, does it? Uh, it's not there. It's not there. But on Moses, or maybe it's on Laura's, maybe they put it on her thing. Let me show you something. This is my line. So Tanya, this is your line also.
Okay.
Let me show you something. Uh, this is Laura's. So Laura, which is Tanya. So Uncle Robert was this is his mother, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the informant. Look who they notified when she died. Robert Geddis. And she's buried at Sand Hill Church. And it says she died from CV disease. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is like kidney disease. We have to go and look it up again. And it says she was 79 and she lived in Gettysville. And obviously we have oral history of all of this, but she's buried at Sand Hill Church somewhere. So this is my great grandmother, and this is your great grandmother.
Leona, what type disease they have on the death? Because can't see the writing, it's
It
too small.
says hyper something CV disease.
It said heart disease. When I went,
Cardiovascular.
yeah.
Oh, so that's heart disease too then. Okay.
Wow.
So there you go to heart problems again.
That must be, well, yeah, that's
Let
crazy.
me large in that hyper is hyperlipidemia. Let's see, what does it say?
I can't tell, but it's basically CV disease.
Well, CV is cardiovascular, but it says hyper.
I can't read it. I can't make out what it
I can't
says.
make it out either. Something too high. That's all I know.
Yeah, but obviously we see if it's cardiovascular, so now we know we got heart problems in the
But
family.
but did they do autopsies and
Yeah.
doctors and stuff like that then?
I
Yeah.
don't know, but that's what they put on her. And it said
But
she was go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't put too much credence in that, using it as a history for us, because back then we as black folks and freed slaves, they put something because they needed to put something on the death certificate.
Right. It probably wasn't correct.
You finished, Elizabeth?
Yes.
On that, on Grandma Laura's death certificate, it also has senility. And I asked Daddy about that, and Daddy said Grandma Laura didn't have any signs of being having senility, so she was always in her right mind and always strong.
Yeah, they just put something on there.
Well, let me show you now our great granddaddy Moses. I want to show you this because this is important. So we didn't think we was a slave. Well, we definitely know he was because Moses, so Laura's husband, this is the second, not you guys' Moses.
No, I know.
Okay,
I
so now
got
this
it
is
now.
our granddaddy Mose. So Mose Geddis, he died at 85. Arteriosclerosis, so I think that's something with the
Yeah.
heart also.
Yeah, with the
And
blood vessels, yes.
now this one says he died at 85, but look at what it says here. His father, Mose Geddis, and it said old slave.
Oh wow.
And his mother's name was Maggie.
And
So
Leona, I think they're trying to say arterial sclerosis. I think that's where
With the
that
bone
SC.
disease or something, right?
That's the narrowing of the blood vessel. That
In the heart. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. But I just want you
Well,
guys
it
to
seems like
see
it
it.
says atrial. I think they're trying to say atrial, which would be the top part of the heart. Oh yeah, yeah.
So, but more importantly, what I wanted to show you is that on his death certificate, though, it says that his father was Mose and he was an old slave. They put it in parentheses. Old slave.
Hmm.
Right?
Huh.
Why they have to do
I
that?
see
That's
that.
crazy.
And Maggie. And they said he was buried also at Sand Hill Church.
So maybe those are some of the graves that doesn't have a stone.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably. But it says that so this is the second when on the line of the children from Moses and Margaret. So this is Moses, and then this is our line, Maggie, Moses, excuse me, Moses and Laura. And it says that his father was Moses and his mother was Maggie. So now we definitely have concrete evidence that this person definitely was a child of the person that got freed from Mr. Postel. And it shows on here that he was an old slave. Look at that.
Yeah. Now, I did see that you guys had 1952 down for his birth. So that says 1844 instead of, I think, 1852 that you guys had.
I
I
know,
know
and
it's kind of hard to tell when they were born back then.
yeah,
But
because there's several different source documents that show different dates.
Mhm.
So it's hard to tell. I don't even know if they knew when it was actually born. But yeah,
Well,
I know the death
well,
the death certificate said
Right.
1844.
well,
Mhm.
Leona.
Right. Right.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the older people did a lot of that because of insurance purpose. They would not give their correct age. They would go down rather than up because the little premiums were cheaper.
Way
Right.
back then, though.
Right. And during slave time as well. And I've updated that Moses, the head top of the tree to 1815, because there was another primary source that says 1815, and that 1852 was closer to Moses Jr. And one of the other things is, remember, slaves don't know, for the most part, slaves don't know when they were born, so it's all a guesstimate. That's why when you look at those primary source documents, that it says about. And just
Yeah.
as Leona said, when you go from one primary source to another, you'll see discrepancies. Even when you look at the census documents, there are discrepancies from one census year to another census year in some cases.
Yeah.
What's the informant's name here? Whose name is that?
I can't tell. I know it's Geddis. I
I have a
can't.
question.
Is it Cheskaddis or
Yes,
is that a C,
yes,
right?
ma'am. You can ask your question.
I think that's Charles Geddis. That would be my grandfather, my mother's father.
Okay.
For most Geddis,
Seems like CHAS.
You can't make it, but it does look like CHAS or something. I can't tell so much
Is
what.
that not a Z?
it's Charles, but Charles, like how we abbreviate Charleston, it's Charles, CHAS. But I have a question. We said that Moses Sr. was married to Margaret, but here on Moses Jr.'s birth certificate, it said mother's maiden name was Maggie. So which is it, Margaret or Maggie?
That's what
We
you
see
said.
It
Maggie.
varies.
I thought
Right.
that
Yeah,
was
we see Maggie written different ways. Sometimes it say her name is Maggie. Sometimes her name is Margaret. So we are assuming that they abbreviate in Maggie for Margaret.
And when you look at my grandmother's name, Fred's Goodwine's daughter, Maggie, uh, Maggie is all I know all my life. And when I look at various documents, it has Maggie, then some of them have Margaret on my mother's. And actually, the same thing for Margaret. On some of the documents, you find Maggie, some of the documents, you find Margaret. So you will see that the interchanging of the Margaret and the Maggie. So my assumption is they probably call her Maggie, although her name may have been Margaret, that they probably called her Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. And I think that's a good connection too, that so you're saying there was another Maggie that was named after her, which shows sort of that connection as well too.
Right, that would have been Moses
Your
and Margaret's granddaughter
granddaughter.
was named
Oh,
Maggie. I
yeah.
knew her as all I heard all my life was Maggie because that was my mother's grandmother, and all I heard was Maggie. But as I was going through the various documents, it changed. It sometimes was Maggie, sometimes it was Margaret, and on one document it had Maggie and Margaret, and had Margaret and Maggie in parentheses. I think it was, I can't remember if it was the original Margaret or the my grandmother, or it may have been both of them, but they interchange Maggie and Margaret on the documents.
Yeah, and what I want to kind of show you just from this, because I told you I wanted to go down my line. I understand we almost at 6 o'clock. So if anybody needs to drop, because I did say I want to be mindful of people's time. If you need to drop, since it's right at our 1 hour, you can drop, but we won't stay on much longer. But I just want to go down this line real quick and then just ask any questions. But let me just show you this. So it said there's different documents that show Moses. So this is the Moses, our eldest family member that we know, and Maggie. And in different documents, we show her name as Latson, and it's spelled various different ways. But I just put it on my tree as Maggie Latson based off of one of the documents that I have. I never found out when she died, but at least I couldn't find a source to show when she died. But we're going down the records of their children. So what I'm showing is my line, which is one of the sons, Moses Geddis Jr., and Moses was married to Laura Pinckney, and then obviously she married Geddis, and then their children. Now, again, you guys gonna tell me if I got something wrong. If I need to update, tell me. But I had William, I had Alan, Mary S. Geddis Haynes, and I think cousin Priscilla that our cousin Ken, this is the line I think that he falls under. He was asking me questions, but I'm just pointing that out for him because I'm going to send this video to him. But I
Yes,
think that's
that's
his
his grandmother.
that's
Yeah,
it. That's his
that's
line.
Dot. Yeah, right.
Okay. And then Francis Geddis Daggins. So the Daggins family that comes to our reunions, that's where they fall. And then I had Ida Elizabeth, and I guess she was called Lizzie Geddis Smalls. And then I had Emmeline Geddis Simmons. I had Aaron Geddis, Uncle Calvin from New Orleans. And then obviously we know his name got changed from Geddis to Gathers, but I still put it on my tree as both. Then I had cousin Eva, Aunt Eva, um, cousin Priscilla, that's your grandmother. Hannah Louisa Geddes, Robert Lee Caesar Geddes, or Robert Lee Geddes. That's cousin
My daddy.
Liz, yep, that's your family. Tanya and Robert, that's y'all. Josh Lincoln Geddes. Then my grandfather, David McKinley Geddes, or McKinley David. They have it various ways on the census record. So Dean, you can correct that, but that's how they have it on the different census records. They have Rosa Geddes Singleton, Ernest Taft Geddes, Rachel Geddes, Goodwine, and then they always have this Bertha Geddes, but I haven't found any other source documents. I've got one source document that says a Bertha Geddes, but I haven't found any other source documents. And this would mean that Moses and Margaret would have been real old if she was born in 1916. So that's still a question mark to me if she is actually a child of Moses and Laura, or is she a grandchild that may have been there during the census and they just said that she was a child. I don't know. That's for you
I
guys to
I
tell me.
I
I agree. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I never heard Daddy talking about, but all the others, I remember Daddy talking about them. But I don't remember Bertha, except for Demetrius' aunt
Yeah.
Bertha.
Yeah,
Leon,
right. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, and Liz, okay,
Uh,
let's go to Joshua and Uncle Robert.
uh-huh.
Wasn't Uncle Josh older than Uncle Robert?
Yeah.
Okay, now on that, it's not.
Yeah, and
They got
again,
Uncle Robert going
that goes to them
96
source
and
documents. So let's
Josh.
open. let
I
me
know.
open up his. Let's see what it says. His death certificate is what I'm using probably.
Mhm.
So Joshua Lincoln Geddis.
What year? Because Daddy was born 1896, I think. Yeah.
Let's see. So this is Joshua Lincoln. It
Hmm.
says his birth date of birth. It
1904.
says 1904.
Okay, so you got to correct that.
Okay, so that's probably from
And
No, no,
Daddy,
again.
no, he was born before 1904 because Daddy was born 1900.
See,
and
that's why I
Daddy,
said
Oh,
again,
Daddy,
oh,
these different source documents.
Yeah, Daddy was born
and
1900. He would have been born 18. Liz, you said Uncle Robert was born when?
1896.
Okay, so
Oh,
he was
maybe 98.
Robert.
I have it. I'll get it because I have the record.
Uh-huh.
Well, see, so that's why I said this is where
hmm.
different source documents have different things, but it might be like what you said, cousin Liz, because of the different things. But it says so Joshua Lincoln Geddis, his father is Moses Geddis, the mother is Laura.
Hmm.
Lavinia Geddis was who they no,
His
this was his
wife.
wife.
Yeah.
And then it shows where they lived,
Mhm.
and then coronary heart disease.
Everybody
Wow.
heart disease.
Wow.
I know, Lord have mercy. And then I don't show anything else. So there's obviously a source document that I have that said that he was born um during that time. So I can go and
Yeah.
pull up. So here you
Leona,
go. Yes,
Leona,
ma'am.
there is a delayed birth certificate for Uncle Josh and delayed birth certificate for Uncle Robert. And I think I sent you that delayed birth certificate some
Okay.
years ago,
Yeah, see, so
Elizabeth.
yeah, it's there. So
Right,
February 11th, 1896. So I need to update that. So
right.
that's fine. But
Mhm.
again, this is how you guys see how it's hard sometimes
Mhm.
because the information is not right, but I can go and update it. But let's go look at the census. If I look at the
Yeah.
census record from that time, it says Abraham L, and that might not have been, see, Abraham L. Lincoln. Oh no, 1896.
He was
So
4 years old.
that's right then. So I need to update it.
Curated with an eye for detail.
So does that make sense to you guys? I wanted to show you that, and then this is where one of our oldest living
Your first purchase.
cousin Ruth Leola Geddis. This is her line.
Time to do some stuff.
Yeah.
That's going towards friends. Oh, that's going towards
Somebody need to mute their phone for me, please.
every news
So
feed.
anyway, so and then you said let me look at cousin Uncle Robert quick. And then we're gonna get ready to go because I don't want to keep people too long. We can keep diving into this. We can keep diving into this late another time, but let me show you. So for Uncle Robert, and I got this picture. I think I got this picture from the church.
Okay.
But my cousin Robert, you definitely look like your granddaddy, my cousin.
Doesn't that look like Kendrick? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's something.
Look at my granddaddy. That's a handsome man, Nick.
So then they're showing Uncle Robert is the same age as Uncle Josh.
I
July
need to go. Let me see.
1896.
Let me see what his thing. Let's see what it says for his. Again, now I'm using documents from these people.
Mhm.
So and then they had Robert as Robert McKinley,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
No, that's
see
not the right.
this
That's
not
not the
right
right.
then. No, this is the
Not the right
son.
Robert.
This is a
That's the son. That's Kinley.
this is
Yeah.
son. So
Yeah, that's
that's not the right one that I want
that's
then.
not the right one. That's
But he
Kinley.
was asthmatic, so he didn't die from heart disease. Well, that's good. Well, it's not good, but I mean,
Oh,
we still
But
Well,
let
say
me
he
look.
actually
So
went to the
okay, so hold on.
emergency
I have
room.
another
Asthma
death certificate here.
too. It does. Asthma.
No, this is your grandma. This is Tyra.
That's Tara. Yeah, that's right.
Failure. Wow.
Heart failure. Lordy.
Oh
I
gosh.
just said no heart. Now it's hard again. Oh Jesus.
Mm.
I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before,
Yeah.
Tanya.
No, I've never seen this.
Liz,
This is my grandmother.
yeah.
That's your grandmother.
Liz would have a
That's my Wow.
Your grandmother died 58. Is it 58 years?
Wow, she was
At the
young.
age 58, yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, so this will be your grandma. Somebody put something in the chat.
Liz,
Uh,
Liz,
yes. So the question was, so just so I'm tracking, is Maggie, wife of Moses P. Gaddis, short for Margaret? Yes. So yes, that is. So anyway, but yeah, so this is Tyra Geddis. This is one of the Robert. This is not the other
Not the
Tyra,
first time. Not the first time.
not
Right.
the first Tyra. This Tyra would be named after her aunt.
Yeah, she died in 1969.
yeah. Liz, are you on?
She may have had to drop. I know I'm over
She's
six
on. She's on mute. Mommy,
past
you on
six
mute.
past six. So
Liz,
we're gonna get ready to go
Tanya,
down.
I mean not Tanya, Leona.
Yes, ma'am.
That Tyra is the daughter of Moses and Margaret's daughter, Tyra.
No,
Okay.
this is my mama here, Priscilla.
Yeah. But she's named after her mama.
Yeah.
Her mother,
Right.
not grandmother, correct. So thank you for
Right.
correcting me. Her mother. She's named
Wait a
after
minute
her
now.
mother.
Let's back up. My mother is not named after her mother.
What's her mama's? I'm sorry, her
My mother,
grandmother. Her grandmother.
yeah,
Her
her
grandmother.
grand,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Grandmother.
Her
right.
grandmother. Right. I'm sorry.
Okay,
My
That's my
mother,
mistake.
my grandmother's name was Rosa.
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
so her grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's named after her grandmother.
Is that
So
the
that.
same Tyra Geddis Goodwine?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
up further up on the line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her
Ton, a lot of
dad-
ancestry marriages.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's what you see
I
where it
know.
says. You see where it says her father is Fred Goodwine, and then her mother was Rosa Glover. Good.
Glover, because yeah,
Right. Right.
she
No,
was a
you're right. No,
Glover.
you're right. You're right. No.
That's
I
correct.
stated that wrong.
Yeah.
Right. But
Liz,
Eh,
one
But
of the
Liz,
that's
things
that's
when we
Fred
look at
Jr. though. But that's Fred Jr.
that's
Right?
Fred Jr. Yes.
Yeah, and she is buried at Sand Hill Church.
Mhm.
Liz,
Yeah, baby.
copy of this document, right?
Huh?
You have a copy of this particular document, right?
Of my mother's birth certificate, yes.
No. Her death
Yes.
certificate.
Oh,
Yes.
oh yeah, I have her death certificate and her birth certificate.
Good. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But y'all, this is so good information. It's so accurate information.
It
And I
is good.
know this is down the road, but it would be good if we can publish this for generations to come.
Mhm. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me
Yeah.
show you. Let me show you another thing, Miss Tanya. Let's look at this here. This is your granddaddy, Uncle Robert, his registration for the war.
World War II.
Oh, something. Now I have a copy of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even know he was in the war.
Well, he registered for it.
Registration for it. He didn't serve.
He registered. He had to
They had
register.
Oh,
everyone had to register at age 18.
Hey, y'all, look at this.
The
His
date of
birthday
birth.
is
Y'all, look at this. The date of birth is 1898, and that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's 2 years older than
That
Daddy.
is
Daddy
correct.
was born 1900. So Uncle Josh
I
was
knew
1896. Uncle Josh probably was 1896. He's 1898.
Yeah,
so I
I
need just
said
updated.
between 1896 and 98 because I have that record.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Y'all,
I just need to
this
update it.
is such good information. Oh, wow. For our great grandchildren to have this information, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Hi, everybody. This is Detta. Quick question. Looking at the mailing address on that, I'm noticing it's saying Osborne and not Adams Run. Any history
No,
on?
that was changed, Data maybe in the late 60s. It
Okay.
was Osborne.
But and just an addendum to what Dean said, Detta. See, they went by where the post office was located. See,
Yes,
because we didn't live in Osborne, we don't live in Adams Run.
Right.
But that's where the post office is located. Therefore, that's how the name came about in the address.
Yeah.
So where's Osborne? Where's Osborne?
The same place, Adams Run, they just changed the name of it from Osborne. Osborne is no longer a city or a town. It's
I
now
see.
Adams Run.
but
Yes,
just the
ma'am.
location of the post
Actually,
office.
Dean, it is still Osborne is still a location. I was looking at a documentary in the middle of the night with that Center of Heirs property granted various locations throughout the Charleston County, and Osborne was one of those location where they gave them some grant money to restore their prayer house. So Osborne, I thought the same exact thing that you did, but Osborne still does exist.
Mm.
There's no mailbox. There's
No
no
mail, no
post
mailing
box.
from
That's
Osborne.
what I
No.
was saying. No post
Right.
office box.
That was changed.
Throw all that grease inside there.
Mhm.
Interesting.
So, anybody else want me to find them on the tree right quick? Because I know we have to go. It's 6:15, but if anybody want me to find, at least try to find you on the tree real quick before we go. We're gonna do another one of these in another couple of, maybe another month or so. Send me a note or who's that? Somebody say
This
something.
Irene. Can you find my grandmother, Ida?
Yes, ma'am.
Irene?
You're on our line, so you are. Let me see. This Ida Elizabeth. Let me find you right here. This is your line. So you are siblings to I think what this is would be your grandmother. Lawrence.
Yes, yes.
There you go. Lawrence Smalls.
Ida.
And this is, I need to add all of you guys on here.
Wait, so Ida was Moses'
Ida is one of the siblings of Uncle Robert. My
okay.
granddad,
So
my
okay.
granddaddy, that is her, I need to, wait a minute.
Ida was a daughter of Moses Jr.
Yes.
Okay.
I need to add you guys, Cousin Irene. I don't have all of you guys on here.
Okay, I thought okay.
Because I got you, Lauren. It's probably on Cousin Priscilla's thing. I just don't have you all added on here. But this is your line right here. I'm showing you right now. This is because Cousin Ham. Let me see. Isaac. Well, no, I do have you here. I'm on the wrong one. Okay. I was under your Uncle Lawrence. I need to go on Isaac.
Yeah, sure, right there.
So there you go. So Isaac, I need to put his picture. I got your mama, Cousin Weeze, and then the three of you guys, but I need to add all your children. So let me go back. Let me show you again. Let me show you how this looks on the tree. So in the tree, and see so here go Moses and Laura. And Moses and Laura, so this was the son of one of the Moseses. Moses and Laura had a daughter, Ida, and Ida is the sibling of our grandfather. So cousin Liz, cousin Liz will be her daddy, my granddad, etc. So cousin Aunt Dean's daddy, that's one of the siblings, Ida. And then your father met your Miss Ida, Aunt Ida. She married a man named Barney Smalls, and then they had all these children. And your daddy Isaac is here, and your mom is here. And then the children, Irene, this is your husband, or your late husband. And then this is your brother Ray and his wife, and then cousin Dot and her family. So there you go. I need I need to add your kids, your grandkids.
Mhm.
So that's your line.
You need it now?
No, I'll get it from you. I'll get it from you.
Okay.
So I can think.
Alrighty.
But that shows you where you fit in the line.
She just said absolutely what type of bit you need.
You're
Small.
not on mute. You're not on mute.
Born not on mute.
Uh-oh. Let me mute me. Sorry.
That's okay. Anybody else want me to find them on the line before we at least on the tree before we hang up? Like I said, we're gonna do this again.
My great grandmom, Mary.
Who are you, ma'am? I can't see
This
your
is
name.
Dot. Oh, this is Dot Dorothy Jones. My
Dorothy
great grandmom was Mary.
Mary who?
That's Mose Jr.
Was Junior? Okay, hold on. Let me go back to that. You might have to help me with that.
Haynes. She would be Mary
Yes.
Haynes. You may have her listed as Mary Haynes.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
so
what I
Mary.
thought.
that's
Yeah,
her.
Mary
Yeah.
Hands.
So right here, so Mary Geddis Haynes and Edward Ned Haynes.
Right.
Yes.
And then
Mhm.
the children, Carrie, Estelle, Maggie,
Carrie.
Lucille, and Clarence.
Carrie.
Right.
Clarence, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Carrie Haynes.
That's my grandmother. That was my grandmother.
So I need, and again, cousin Priscilla might have it. I
Mhm.
don't have all of it. So I have Carrie
Mhm.
Haynes is married to Whaley Haynes.
Mhm.
Right.
And then I have Anna Laura Haynes. I don't have any of
Right.
the rest of the children, at least
That's
on
her
my
Yeah,
tree.
they
mama.
only had one child. Oh yeah,
Uh,
you have that.
so then she married to Christopher Simmons.
Yes.
And then
And
these are, so are you Dorothy?
I'm
That
Dorothy.
so is that you, Dorothy Simmons?
Uh-huh.
That's
Dorothy
you.
Simmons Jones.
So I
Yeah.
have you. I have you. I
Okay.
just need to add your the rest of your family. So that's why we do this.
Okay.
Well, tell me, who's Lucille, though?
Hold on. Let me go back.
That was
They
one
have
of
that listed as one of Aunt Mary's children, Lucille. I don't
Hold on, let me go back. And this
know.
is funny because I went to school with Christopher Simmons. Is this my cousin? And I didn't even know. Chris Simmons, is he a pastor now, a preacher
No,
now?
no, as a matter of
He's,
fact, he died almost about
yeah.
2 years ago, just
Okay, so that's a
recently.
different
Yeah,
Christopher.
but that's a different Christopher Leon. You're too young to have gone with her brother.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
oh,
Okay.
okay, right. Yeah, because
Uh,
he would have been 70 something.
Yeah, see the
okay.
Lucille from 1914 to 55. I had never heard, not that it's not true, but I just never heard of
Okay, right
Lucille
here. So
Haynes.
yeah, so it
That,
said so Carrie Haynes,
I know
and
all the, oh, unless that's cousin Addie.
Probably.
yeah,
I bet you
that's
that's
Lucille
cousin
Haynes.
Addie.
Ann's mother, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I just never
So
heard of her. We always call her Addie.
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know her. I don't have a lot of information,
but I
but
see Maggie on there.
hold on, let's see. So Mary Haynes and Ned Haynes, they had Mary, Estelle, Lucille, and Clarence.
Mm-hmm.
At least at that census, that was the 1940 census.
Right. And Clarence, that's Kenny's dad.
Yeah, he wants lots of information, so this is good for him to see.
Right.
Yes.
Again, I know we're over time, so if people want to drop off, please do. We're gonna finish up in just a few minutes, but I wanted to answer questions for people if you wanted to see where you fit. So
Mhm.
for cousin Dorothy, then, if you don't have my number, maybe text me. I'm gonna give you my phone number so I can
Okay.
add your family. That's the reason we're doing this. I want to add, and then me and cousin Priscilla will compare notes and we'll add the rest of you to, at least like I said, there's more than one tree out there. So, but we're adding as we go, and me and cousin Priscilla are comparing notes. So my number is 301
30
535 5140.
5140.
So 301 535 5140. So if you guys want to send me your family updates, then I can update it. So cousin Irene, like I need Niecy's son. I know she got a couple her sons, and then Shamanique's kids. If you send me their information, then I'll add them to my tree, and then me and cousin Priscilla will update. So anybody else want me to
Okay,
find
and
you
I'll
on the
try.
tree?
Leona, this is
Yes, ma'am.
Irene.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to give you all the dot chisels, dot and ray kids too. I'll send it all to you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And tell me that number
Okay.
again. I wrote it over somewhat, something.
Okay, so it's 301
Okay.
535 5140. And if you're in that group email or the group chat that cousin Priscilla has, you can respond in there also. And then
Okay.
I'll see it in there too, because I'm in the group chat that cousin Priscilla has for the Geddis family reunion.
Okay.
So anybody else before we go want me to find you on the tree?
I can't tell you how much good information this is.
It is, yes.
As for me, I'm the fourth generation that I can go back. I cannot go beyond 4 generations. But for our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren, and for generations to come, this is a wealth of information. So thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
And just
thank
since
you.
you're talking, I just brought up your lovely my grandfather, your daddy. There's my granddaddy, David.
That's Unc. Baby, you
Yep.
ain't got no
I
back.
remember Mr. David. I remember him.
Uncle
That's
Dave
my
said,
granddaddy.
baby, you ain't got no back. My back hurt. Baby, you don't have no back. Well, Uncle Dave, what is it? Picking cotton. My
Mhm.
back. But no, I know it was started and continued. It's good job, historians. Good job.
Oh yeah.
And
And then,
Leon, would
yes,
you
ma'am.
want pictures for everybody who's saying a name? Would you want pictures?
If you have it, yes, the more the better. Because obviously you see, and I'm starting to add. So like I added my daddy, obviously. I added different people, and I'm grabbing pictures off of different things. So yes, so anybody that has pictures and stuff. So if you guys you don't know my line, I'm about to show you. So that's my daddy, and then where I fit in this line down in here, I didn't even add my pictures yet, but so that way you can see where we fit. So I want you guys just to, if you have pictures and stuff and you want to add them, please feel free to do that.
What's that? Keep beeping.
Any more questions?
Leona, what application is this?
It's ancestry.com.
So is this
It's open. I can send it to you. I just do invite and I can send it to you. I can send
is
the
this
tree to you.
something that we can keep, or is it, if as long as we pay for it, we have ownership of this?
No. So I pay a monthly subscription. Like I can download all the information and send it. So there's lots of that. But because it keeps changing, like let me show you something real quick. But no, you can't keep it, but you can download information from it. So that's what I started doing. Let me show you this. I mean, this thing right here, this DNA, and this is what is getting more crazy. So I didn't do my DNA, but my sister Mal did, right? And it shows you all your matches. So it starts to show you your family in here. So that's how we know, like cousin by parent. Let me just do this. So like my sister Mal, she did. So from my paternal, so from the Geddis, and it says Geddis, Gathers, Geddis, and Perry. So guess who shows up in here? Cousin Priscilla shows up in here. Lots of people from that tree that I just talked to you guys shows up in here. So, and look here, I got some family that's on both sides. Look at that. So I got family who shows up on both sides of my tree that are related. It's really neat, especially when you start doing DNA. But we
So
can't we can download it.
for the DNA, was she able to trace back like where in Africa?
Yeah, I can show it to you right quick. Like I said, if people need to go, you feel free to leave. But I'll show you really quickly. See,
I
because
want to see.
I think we're from Sierra Leone, right?
Yes,
well, I'm getting ready.
yes, we are.
I'm about to show you. So look at cousin Priscilla. So we know definitely cousin Priscilla. You definitely related to me.
But you know, Leona,
Yes, ma'am.
my principal investigator I worked for, we
Yes.
did genetic studies in Sierra Leone from
Mm-hmm.
the Sea Islanders,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that like substantiated that we are origin of Sierra, and
Well,
that's genetic studies.
well, let me show you what the DNA shows where we're from. I'll show you. So these are different people. You can see some. So the Daggins in here. Michi, if you still on, your
I
Zoe
see
Howard.
Zoe Howard. That's Tika's
That's
daughter. Yeah.
Tika's daughter. Uh, some
Wow.
Smalls are in
They
here.
come up with a lot of names, different people.
The Ankrams are in here. Irvin Geddis is in here.
Wow.
Uh, some
Bobby
singletons.
Gordon, that's a cousin.
Lakeisha.
Yeah, the biggest thing is a lot of people they use like different names on here, so you have to go and look. Eric is on here,
I
Eric
see
Geddis.
that. He's on there.
So people don't use their full name. The Baxters, that's one of their granddaughters, Altaria, the Baxters.
Altaria.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it says, let's see,
Yeah,
and then it shows you also by location.
Altaria is Anthony's sister.
Wow.
Look at here, look at here, look according to the map where we look. We got people all over the world.
we do.
Wow.
I'm getting ready to get on this.
So it can be really interesting, but let me show you. So according to Ancestry, this is where it says we from. So ancestry.com says that we from Nigeria, Mali, the Western Bantu people, Senegal, Benin and Togo, Ivory Coast, Cameroon. We got Norway. I think that's from my mama. The Cornwall area, Ireland. That's my mama again. All of that. This North Africa. And then we got some indigenous Americas in here also. So apparently we have some Native American in here. But according to the map, if you could see it, so although we say Senegal, it doesn't come up in the DNA. It's all around that area, at least from my side, it doesn't come up in the DNA though.
Well, I will get you documentation from the research for the Sierra Leone.
Hi, everybody. This is Detta again. Leona, I did 23andMe, and
Yep.
it's pretty similar. Like Ghanaian,
Well, me and you,
Liberian, Sierra Leonean, Nigerian, and then I have British and Irish, Angolan and Congolese.
well, we be cousin on both sides, so
Yeah.
it should come up about the same. So, but you said Sierra Leone came up on yours though.
Yes.
Are
And
you
see,
able, so we use a different, you like Data used 23andMe, you use Ancestry. Are you able to import Data's information into here?
yeah, I
Like
can match her.
if we use a different one?
Well,
Because I've
no,
heard
ancestry.com would have to be, it would have to be an ancestry.com test. So like my sister Mal shared her DNA results with me. That's why I'm able to pull it up. And then I have a cousin of mine from my mama's side. She did it, but she did it in ancestry.com. So I can only pull up people from ancestry.com. That's why I saw cousin Priscilla and Eric. If you did it in 23andMe, we'd have to log into that site to find it on that side.
I got you. Okay.
So
And
and then
Ancestry.com puts their kits on sale sometimes. They were just on sale for $39 like a month or so ago. So the next time I see that sale, I can post it in the group if anybody wants to do it.
Yeah, that would
so
be
and then
nice.
it shows Casey, that's from Uncle Calvin. New Orleans. Hey,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Casey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So anyway, and it tells you from which side. So it shows you which side that we got what DNA from. So it'll break it down. But I wanted to at least show that to you. I'm not gonna keep everybody longer. And see, these are different people who shared their trees with us. Cousin Priscilla, this is her tree. This is mine. This is from my mom's side. And then these Demetrius did a tree. So different people. This is cousin Primus and crew. So they shared their tree with me, at least part of it. So we can, I mean, there's lots of stuff. Casey, you want me to show you where you fit in the tree?
Sure, why not?
You know where you fit. Let me see, where's Uncle Calvin? Calvin. So this is your granddaddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then your great granddaddy, I guess. That's your great granddaddy. And this was his wife. This was your Uncle Frederick, Warren, Ernest, Ernestine, Evelyn, Catherine. Um, and then your granddaddy would be Ernest. If you came to the family reunion, he was there. And then this is his wife. And now I need to add, this is what I was telling you, Casey. This I need to add all of you guys to the tree.
All right, I'll try and get you a list.
So
And should we make that like a thing for the next reunion? Like if anybody has any old pictures or current pictures of relatives, they can bring it to the next reunion so we could like update everyone's picture.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we always try to get around to it, but it just seems like things just doesn't happen. But yes, we will. And again, with us doing the Legacy Sundays, maybe that'll help. So anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. Anybody else have any questions, comments? What do you guys think? I know I'm overtime. I'm an hour and 30 minutes. It's an hour and 30 minutes instead of 1 hour, but I wanted to at least show people where they fit in the tree. And I want us to be able to keep doing this and then start talking about other things also. So once we get the family tree updated, then so like my end segment, since we're getting ready to go into the election, vote, 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 vote. And then we're going to talk about estate planning and wills, and we're going to talk about all this other stuff eventually too. But I want people to start seeing where they fit in the family tree. Anything from anybody else? Questions?
Leona, this
Leona.
was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Thank you for doing this. Great job.
Thank you.
great job.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I
And
ditto what's been said. I truly appreciate it. You know, you and Priscilla and my pioneer husband who wasn't able to do a lot, but he did something. Thank all three of you. And
And
I'm really happy to see the interest of our young folks. Wow, I love this, y'all. You know, I love.
we're gonna keep doing it, and then like I want to break down our land holdings because I've got lots of documents that talks about the land holdings and showing how we bought Sand Hill Church or the family bought Sand Hill Church. I got lots of things in my head, so I want to make this an extension of the family reunion, and then we can just let our kids get to really understand the family and how rich our history really is. So. Thanks everybody for taking time on your Sunday afternoon and have a good rest of the night. Again, if anybody wants to call me or if you want a link to the site so you can dig into it a little bit more. Like I said, a lot of things it still needs to be updated, but that's why we do this so you guys can help see where you fit and then we can keep updating information. All right,
Right.
so
It's
I'll send another link a couple of weeks from now and maybe we'll do another one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
Awesome
you.
job,
thank
Leona.
you.
Good
Have a
job,
good
Leona. Thank you.
Awesome job.
I'm gonna save this and cousin Priscilla, what I'll probably do is I will maybe I'll just send it out to the email. I don't know. I might have to put it on YouTube or something or a Dropbox or something because the video for this will probably be too long just to send out via email. So I'll see.
Okay, just send it if you're able to send it to me. Send it to me and I'll put it on the Geddis family reunion YouTube. And I will also attach a link onto the website.
Okay, great. All right. All right. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.